Yeah.
Did you want to say anything about the topic or?
Hold on, let me read the paragraph because I just wrote because I couldn't see it at first. What?
Well, this person, like the topic really isn't. It's not something that I made. It's a screen grab from somebody else that we're having the live. I think it was like a couple of days. She was talking. She's like a known pick me, and she was talking about like black men being judged for dating out and black women not receiving any judgment for dating out. Which all of these questions and discussions set black women up to be dogged in the first place. And yeah, so that's basically what I was talking about.
Uh, I just, I mean, don't black women get judged too? Like, I'm pretty sure.
Yes, absolutely.
But yeah, I just pick me's. Yeah, must be stopped. Yeah, definitely because it's just basically a pick me is basically a woman gets a woman. It's like if you're a pick me, you're just for men. Like, you do anything to try to please or get a man. Like even not even respecting yourself. And it's just like you'll throw other women down just to get the man, and the man ain't even for shit.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you.
Yeah.
I just it's just very irritating to me when people start lives, make platforms to try to make it seem as if black men are in some type of situation of being attacked when black men have been dating out for a very, very, very long time. And I wish that people would, even if they would ever think that there is a difference in, behavior or treatment of the situation, it's because everywhere you look, black men are putting down black women. You know,
Yeah.
and that's the issue. It's not it's the bashing black women to put uplift someone else. And also, like I said, this lady here, this is probably about my third or fourth time seeing her, and every time I see her, she's always on something goofy. And I really wish that these women would understand that the men that you're catering to, they don't like you. They will listen to you and uplift you only because they can use you to say the things that they want to say, or use you as like a female example. Oh well, she agrees with what we're saying, but they don't respect this lady. I the last thing I saw her, she was saying that women should just be with a man for years and years and years and years without requiring marriage because marriage is a big deal and all of this other stuff. But then was cool with somebody living with a man for years and years. It's the same thing. Then anyway, she this lady is just a goofy. I
She probably whole time trolling for attention. Cause some people do that, like they'll troll and act like they really think that. But she might be serious. She might be trolling. I don't know. But I ain't never seen this woman before.
yeah, she got a pretty big following. I think if anything, she may be trolling, but if she's trolling, it's definitely for some money. That's for sure. And maybe for some attention or some clout
Yeah.
from black men. And like I said, for the life of me, the type of black men that would even be interested in the things that she says are not the type of black men that she would even want for any type of attention. And I think that's where they always go wrong because the content that they make is not going to attract any type of black man that's going to do anything right by them. But hey, T, how you doing, sis? You there, T? I tell you what, this is like late. I normally don't be on here this late. Let me send you a request to talk.
Yo, no,
Hey,
it's no, my baby just let him get his little 10 minutes in before I put him to sleep because he done took a nap and I'm tapped out. I'm
oh,
tapped out. Girl. So I found this to be very interesting when I see pygmies, especially black women, um saying like, they understand black men dating outside the race. So I'm a little bit confused. Do she want black men? Or do she date outside her race? Like,
I feel like she don't. I feel like she like any of the videos that I've seen of hers. It's always very women are the problem, and we all we need is a man to get us straight and all of this other stuff. And she's not even married or anything like that, but I think that she might be hoping she can find somebody with saying this type of rhetoric. But like I said, the men that you're going to attract making pick me content is not the type of man that you want, because any man that has some sense would think what you're saying is stupid. Oh, you can go ahead, Maya.
Hi, finally, I'm able to finally be on this live and speak. So I just wanted to say I've been seeing her. Can everybody hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
You loud and
Okay,
clear. You
okay.
good?
I've been seeing her on my timeline for like so long now, and every time she make a video, she just give me the ick because I know she's pandering to like men, and she don't even believe the stuff that's coming out of her mouth. She just doing it for rage bait. Maybe she'll get a few coins or whatever. But I think I emailed you about her. I don't know if you saw it.
You might have, because I've seen her stuff before.
Yeah,
Oh, girl.
yes. Like I'm like, do you even believe the stuff that's coming out of your own mouth? I
I
have to
mean,
That's
like
why I'm
stop
confused at. That's why I'm
view her
confused because
content. Like
that's what I'm confused about. I'm like, okay, is she and she's implying that like like is her target audience is black people? Because if she's okay with interracial dating, which I don't have an issue with that neither. I mean, whatever floats your boat. Like I don't care. I'm not into that race loyal stuff, but I'm basically I'm just trying to understand what exactly is her point. Like, is she's trying to like justify something I'm confused because usually black pick me women are not really into interracial dating. They put black men on a pedestal. They actually say how what black women need to do and compare us to white tea women and say how this
right.
is why black men don't want us. So that's why this is confusing to me. So I never came across something like this before. I ain't gonna lie,
Me
I'm floored.
neither.
I
But
ain't gonna
I've
lie, I'm
been seeing
floored.
her for
I'm
months
confused
now.
as F. I
I
ain't gonna
think
lie.
I think she was just
I've
trying to
been seeing
set
her for
up.
months now.
I think she was trying to set black women up to be talked about. Really, that's what she does in a lot
I
of her
agree with
videos
that.
and stuff like that. Just tries to set up black women just to be talked about, or to make it seem like black women have it so easy. You know what I'm saying? And black men do not. But let me go up here to XY and then supervillain. Go ahead, XY.
Yo,
Hey, what's up?
what's up? I just was listening to what you guys are saying about this. I was just curious. Sorry, I don't have nothing to talk about.
Oh, okay, okay, all right, no problem. All right, let me go down here to supervillain. Hey, Maya, I don't know if you got disconnected or dropped or whatever. I you can come up whenever you want if you want to come back up, Maya. Let me go down here to supervillain and then state.
Hey, Triggered.
Hey, sis.
Oh, yeah, this is interesting. I too have not heard this. I want to know, when are black men judged for interracial dating? They've been doing that for so long and so often. I don't even. It's weird. I think this was definitely some rage baiting. Um, and especially how black women are less likely to interracial date. They are doing it more now. However, I'm starting to see that. But I mean, those who judge black men for interracial dating, they don't care anyway. They still do it. So I don't even understand what's the point of even saying that part. But I don't know. This was weird. This was a rage bait. I'm noticing people are really doing this because they have nothing to talk about on TikTok. I get it. We've probably gone through every freaking topic there ever has been so far by now. But I mean, this was whack. I don't really have too much to say about it. This was kind of strange.
Yeah, I mean, I just think it's so weird to like be a black woman and then think that you can separate from black women and make topics where people are gonna come in and talk about black women, and then you want to pretend as if like you're not one and everything they're saying is not directed to you too. Like, it's just so strange to me to see women do that. Like, and that's half of the things, at least when I've come across her. She's always on that type of time. It's just so weird. And I think she's one of the ones that swear like she's giving you some type of advice. And though I think those are the worst pick-mes, the ones that want to give all of this whack, stupid, harmful advice to women. But let me go up here to State. Go ahead, State.
Hey, Triggered. Just to
Hey.
say, are you saying, like, are you for interracial dating or not for it?
Me? I mean, I don't care what people do as far as like black women. I just want black women to be happy.
Okay, I love that. Same. I think I'm not American, but I like from my outside observations, I feel like Black American women have been um, unfortunately regulated to a very high standard of loyalty and um, faithfulness that I don't know if Black American men have earned. Like, I just don't think so. I feel like if I were like African American, I would focus on myself and do what's best for me. Like, I wouldn't be like, I need to date a Black man because I need to be loyal to them. Because from what it looks to me sometimes, and I'm not gonna say this is all Black men because I can't generalize it a specific like a group of people, but like when I'm here on live, like the amount of disgusting things I hear Black men say about Black women, it's atrocious. So I'm just like, what is your incentive to be like to be loyal to that? No, go to where you're loved, like where you're appreciated and loved. And I feel like because Black women have upheld the Black community in the United States so much, like you're essentially the backbone of that community, like being single moms, because and then you have the audacity to blame single. It's just crazy, okay? But like essentially, you're the back of that community, and they have this weird expectation that that's your job and that you should still continue to do it while they mistreat you. And no, you get to effing quit. Like, say no and go date whoever you want to date. And honestly, in this environment, white men are not that great either. But like, if you find a white man that's like not it's hard, like one of the quote unquote good ones, go for him, even if it makes Black men angry, because you deserve to be happy. So that's how I feel about it.
Yeah, I mean, I think one thing about it is that we talk about interracial dating. That I'll say this. I mean, I think I said this before publicly, but I'll say it again. I think black women should go wherever they are wanted and loved, whether that's
I
a black
agree.
man, an Asian man, a Hispanic man, whatever, wherever they go. But I will say that white tea people give me the ick for the most part. So
Me too.
I think that if you're a black woman and you can find it in someone else that could possibly be another person of color, even if you're not, you can't find a black man that that meets your standards and it is respectful, that's cool. But I don't know, it's just something about them that just give me the ick, as far as looking at them like they are a better alternative, like they're
Oh, they're
just
not.
like another version of evil, if we want to call it that, that could be even worse, in my opinion. This is just my opinion, but it just gives me the ick to like uplift them in any form. I just don't think our ancestors died for us to ever look at them as a possibility in a positive way. And if anybody says that I sound crazy saying it, like, look at the state of the world right now. It's not like any of the things that we as black people previously complained about have ever resolved themselves in any way. They have not. But yeah, I could go more down that rabbit hole, but I'm just saying, but I still am open to black women doing what they want to do. It's a whole host of other people there and around. And I think that sometimes we as black people just make it like it's only us and them, and it's not. It's way more other people that you can entertain, of another race. Uh Let me go down here to books. The other person that was up here, they left. I would have let them speak, but they left. Hopefully I didn't run them off for what I just said.
No, I think your point was very, very like valid.
Okay, thank
Hi,
you. Hi, how you doing, books? Go ahead,
I'm good.
books.
I'm good. Yeah, Books. My name is Bree, by the way. If it might be shorter to say that.
Okay.
But yeah, this topic is interesting to me because I've been in a few lives where people are kind of talking about, why black men this, why they don't like this, what can black women do to be better for black. I've seen a lot of different talking points, and my thing is this, right? Personally, I don't care who you date. I'm never gonna lie and say I've never dated outside my race. I had, and before that, I dated strictly black men, but I never dated outside of my race as a way to say it's because what black men aren't doing. That was never the case. And I think, unfortunately, you have a lot of people who get hurt and then instead of looking inward to see, okay, what am I attracting and who am I attracting? And what am I doing that's attracting certain people that clearly feel like they can take advantage of me or put me in certain situations? They'll say, okay, well, let me just put a generalization and a target out there. And so for me, I don't judge black men for dating outside their race. I do judge people in general for when you're using that as a cover because you want to say these really negative things about the very community that you exist within. There's times I've been on dates with a white man and he's been like, oh, I only date black women because of this and that and talking down about white women. I'm sitting here like, that's your mom, that's your aunt, that's your sister, your cousin, your family. So I feel like, why would you, and then on top of that, you're saying that thinking that's going to make me like you. Why would you putting down a woman in general make me feel more attracted to you? And the same thing goes for when I've been out with groups and settings and I've seen a black man on a date with someone else behind me, or me myself have been on a date with a black man, and I've had a black man who is darker than me say, oh, I don't date women, my complexion. What? So it's like one of those things where, and to Coach Tay's, I hope it's saying it right, Coach Tay, it's not necessarily choosing better per se, but it is to say that there is good people in the world, right? I had a friend the other day, she was like, oh, I feel like I'm not having any luck with dating and da da da. I'm like, yeah, but where are you placing yourself to find the kind of person that you're attracted to? Where? Because at some point, dating, it falls on, it's not just the people out there, it's also us ourselves. And otherwise, if you feel like it doesn't have anything to do with, because male-centered women consider that to be flattering because she believes she's different. Who believes she's different? So I'm just responding to your thing. Yeah, I think as someone, for me personally, who made sure I stayed single for a long time because I did not want to attract any kind of a man who was giving me less than what I deserve, I feel like more people should do that, men included. I think men who desire to be with partners shouldn't get on platforms and talk about how, black women this, black women that, black women aren't this, and black women aren't that, when they themselves aren't in a position to attract the woman that they want in their life.
Okay, can I just ask you a question about
Just real quick, I was gonna say real quick. When I said that was pertaining to when you said about the white tea guy or black guy talking about women, and I was saying like, yeah, those male. The reason why they do that because male-centered women consider that to be flattering because she believes that she's different. You know what I'm saying? Like women, you have women out here that like to hear how a dude treat another woman like trash, and they believe, oh, he's going to treat me differently. Exactly. That's what I was addressing.
Okay, yeah, I was like, did I say something? But yeah, that makes perfect sense. You're
It's not you.
you're 1,000% right. You're 1,000% right with that. And I think it's sad though. I think that's very sad.
Is it more like you're just against people using generalizations as a whole to form like the basis of their dating choices? Like regardless of what those generalizations are, whether it's like about a specific race of people or
I try to use generalizations in any context, right? It's dangerous for me to get on this app and say like, all black men are this because of
right.
my one experience dating a black man. All white men are this because of my one experience dating a white man. Because that's just not true. I can't speak. I haven't been with every man on earth. So I do think it's dangerous when anybody comes on any platform and uses their voice that we all have to say, all black women are this. This is why this, because black women want to be independent. They're so independent they can't get a man now. When the truth is, black women have always had some form of independence, been working. Historically, we've always had work. And really, women historically have played a part. And we have this small little patch in history where people think they can convince you that because this small little time period, women were in the kitchen. That's where they belong. But it's like one of those things now where there's just so many general things being said that I feel like people don't want to take the time to say, well, this was my experience, right? That's fine. I can't negate your experience. But when you speak in general terms, you dig yourself into a hole.
I think
Okay.
sorry, go ahead, Chickering.
Oh no, you can go ahead and respond back, state, and then I'm gonna go down to Supervillain because she has something to say too. But you can go ahead, state, and respond to books if that's what you want to do.
I think a lot of those like all or nothing statements are like a byproduct of frustration. So I think a lot of black women are frustrated with black men. So it's easier to say, okay, like all black men are like this, or I want to avoid them for these reasons. Obviously, that's like not true. I just don't know what the solution is. Like, because I don't feel like the solution should be our job. Like, I don't know if it should be the onus of black women to like, I don't know, work hand in hand to initiate these changes, I don't know, in values or beliefs by Black men. I wish those men were self-motivated to like introspect and figure out why a lot of their anger is misdirected at Black women. But it's like the only thing you can do, if not fix them, is to avoid them. And I agree with you though that it's not avoiding like all men or all Black men. It should be avoiding those specific types of men regardless of their race. And I think they exist. Like incels and weird men hating women are like, honestly, they're just, I see them a lot more now and they're a lot more vocal, and it's, I don't know. I think it's because women are just rejecting men more and they're mad about it. I don't know. But it's really like sad to see.
I
All
think
right.
more men are
Yeah,
oh,
go
sorry.
ahead. Oh,
No,
go
I was gonna
ahead,
say
Sister Villain.
oh yeah.
Thank you, host. I'm gonna say this. I am one of those people who make generalizations. I'm a separatist feminist. It's all men for me. I don't believe in good men. I believe men can do good things. So I'm whether digging myself in a hole or coming from frustration, I definitely, absolutely make those generalizations. I do also want to say that when it comes to interracial dating, especially for black men, I say this all the time. The most pro black thing black men can do is date non black women if they don't like black women. I say all the time, I'm not going to say they hate themselves, they hate their mothers. I even ask, wish them well and ask them to take a couple brothers with them because they are, and as somebody who's not in the dating scene, they are dirtying the dating pool. I'm never ever going to be mad at interracial dating. I actually think a lot of more brothers need to interracially date because they're taking their frustrations out on black women. Evidence is the 3 to 4 hours a black woman is head is knocked off her body by a black man. So I'm having no issue with that. I also think black women should date out. It's all men for me, honestly. So black, white, green. I think they're all problematic. I think they should be regulated to DNA purposes and labor purposes only. But if you have to date, if you need the companionship of a man, I mean, I am imploring black women to open up their options because but like I said, the dating pool it's just not that clean. So you might as well get in a bigger body of water. I yield.
I love that you touched on that because I agree with a lot of what you said in the sense that the dating pool is messed up, is dirty, and I agree. If you're gonna date outside your race, move. You're not in my way. I've had many friends be like, "Oh, it doesn't bother you." I'm like, "No, because clearly he's not checking for me anyways. He wants something else. Let him go. And like you said, let him take some more people with him. That's cool. That do you and do it in a way that you're not harming this space because there is I think we hear the loudest voices. We hear the all the the most extreme voices in these conversations. But there is people out there who are interested and will love you and will love your blackness. And I'm including black men in that topic. And I do think it is easy to say like all men are this. And as someone who's experienced SA, I really there's been times where I've genuinely felt that with all of my being and all of my heart. And I really had to reevaluate my friendships, my relationships, my with the men in my life, even though they've never done anything wrong by me. And I've seen who they marry, who they partner with, and they've shown me such great things about men. But experiencing that made me feel very similar in the sense of it is all men. And I had to re-navigate that and say, you know what, it's not, but it does feel like oftentimes it's a majority, and I think that a lot of people should just stay single. I also agree with you there. Like if you need the companionship, fine, but I do think there's a power in being single and loving yourself, knowing yourself and what you need, and not having to, not having to, but being with a partner, especially if you're not with a partner who appreciates you through thoroughly and fully.
All right, all right. I'm gonna go up here to T and then back to State. You can go ahead, T, if you had something to say.
I'm agreeing with what these ladies are saying. Like if we're gonna to the prompt and everything, just at this point, like I do believe this is actually kind of rage baiting, actually, because it literally doesn't make any sense. Because I personally feel like if black BLK men want to date a YT, there was a time a long time ago that black women did care. Black women was did not want black men to go venture out. The black women had this notion of being race loyal and how we should stick together with the common enemy, blah 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 blah. But nowadays, now that black women have gone through what they have gone through, as a whole, dealing with our fellow brothers. And when I say fellow brothers, I mean just BOK men, as a neighbor, as a friend, as a companion, as a boyfriend, whatever. BOK men have adapted and created a very strange oppression culture, a really toxic culture amongst the black community that I can understand why a black woman would date outside her race. But however, it's not like she's dating outside the race because she disliked black men. It's because of the culture is extremely toxic, and the type of rhetoric that they be spewing out, and especially publicly about black women, is straight up frustrating, and it's just diabolical, and black women don't want to deal with that, and if they shoving down our throats how we need a man, we need to be in a relationship, then it shouldn't come to a surprise that she got with a man outside her race. Especially the number one thing, if she's if she wants financial stability. Because I would say, honestly speaking, I noticed that's what a lot of black women will say, like basically is for financial stability, and they want to be treated a certain way because white men don't talk about how it's being a simp to open up doors, to show chivalry, to protect your wife or your girlfriend, whatever. But even me personally, I'm on lines of supervillain that is all men, because each culture of men have done egregious things to their own women, and I don't trust none of them. BOK men is not the worst, but however, they right on the lines with these other men in these other cultures and other countries, honestly speaking. So when I hear these women say, when I hear black men, this is why we date outside of race, we're already aware that is a humbling tactic, that is a method that they use to try to get black women to so-called act right. And when I see these they weapon out, they did triangulation with Hispanic women, they did triangulation with white women, they did triangulation with Asian women. Every time they turn around and try to say well, this woman is better than y'all, and then those women be on board with them, making fun of black women, calling us hyenas, etc., etc. And then they then they find out that the BOK man ain't treating them any better. So just like we just saw, there's a video that's going viral where the white woman was telling her black husband or boyfriend, whoever he is to her, that she's saying, you gotta help pay rent, and he's saying, no, you ain't gonna get none of my money.
I saw that.
None of my money. You saw that video? Yeah, wasn't that crazy? They
Yes.
said that was a failed lavender marriage, and I ain't gonna lie, he may be on the DL. I will not be surprised.
He was
But
asking him for
however,
$75, I think. Like $75 on a bill.
see, not even
Did he live there?
75. He said nothing. He said, you ain't getting nothing, none of my chump change.
Wait, did he
And
live with her? Like this is
yeah,
spontaneous?
he was a hobo sexual that was
Wow.
living with her, and she was paying all the bills, and she made a video of her basically complaining about he's not paying no bills, and he's saying, well, just work overtime, I ain't doing none of that. And that's the thing that I find to be hilarious, is that, and he filed the taxes. Yeah, like, see, like, that's the reason, and that's the thing. BOK men are literally in a state of desperation, that they want to be dusty no matter what woman they come across. Now they getting a reputation that no, BOK men ain't no better, because now we see what the black women were talking about. Because at the end of the day, what every other race of women all can agree, that they want a man that provides, a man that shows provision. And BOK men have developed in the culture that they do not want to work hard to provide, because providing requires them requires them to work hard, and a lot of them are lazy. They don't have the education, they don't have the resources to find a suitable job, and they just don't meet the qualifications, and that is the problem. And now just all in all, like, to me, if they say, why is it not okay for a black man, a BOK man, to go to a woman of other race, all I sit back and just say, no, go have them. And I don't want to see no live or no video of you talking about BOK man. Oh, look at what he's doing to me. Look, he turned me into a baby mama. He's not paying bills. All I can say is, like, listen, black women, you should listen what black women what we were saying online. You didn't want to listen. Oh, well, now that's your listen. Listen, I want all the white tea women to take all the Zusties. If I'm going to be honest with you, let all the Pickmes of different races, different ethnic, different colors with their real hair, they can take all the Zusties, all of them, every last single one of them. They could take their mama too. That's all.
Okay, all right. T. Supervillain, you said you had something a point to make.
Yeah, sorry. In my commentary earlier, I did want to also say that a big part of I don't think I don't know how to say it. I don't necessarily think that black women are quote unquote race loyal, like when it comes to dating black men. I think a big part of it, I know at least in my experience, is that black women want black children, like I don't what's the word monoracial black children. That's a big thing. Which, by the way, most other races also want the same thing. So it's not a weird thing. Like white tea people want white tea kids. Indian people want Indian kids. Like it's literally black men who don't really want black kids. But that's a big part of it. It's not necessarily the man to me in a lot of cases that I notice, because otherwise marriage would kind of be a big thing. It's having the monoracial black children. Even though I know they think or seem to say that we don't want to be black because we wear wigs, weave eyelashes, and all that crazy shit, which is just beauty tactics. It's not wanting to be another race. I think a big thing is, yes, that's the word, unambiguous black children. Like black women actually really like being black, quiet at its kept. I don't even think that's a quiet thing, but I think that's a big portion of it. We just want unambiguous kids. I know I did, so I'm just gonna say from my experience, by the way.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely agree with that. I think something that I've thought about myself when, of course, y'all all know I'm married to a black man, but when I hear people talk about like interracial dating and things of that nature, and I think about like I told y'all, like a friend of mine that like I had grown to be like really cool with, offline, that didn't want to be my friend anymore because of what I said about, white tea men specifically. Um, I think that was just a big thing of mine. I just did not want to and like I said, I really don't have any issue with POCs, but it's just something about the idea of procreating with a white T person, and then my fear is my child then marrying somebody white T as well, and then just having a being like Diana Ross, having a whole white T family line, and they're sitting there and I'm the only black there. Like I feel like my ancestors would be like, no, 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 what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that is a big thing. And I do think that more black women are really aware of those type of things, and their blackness and stuff than black men are. I think black women are more concerned with preserving their blackness, and black men seem to be, as a collective, of course, this isn't all, but as a collective, more concerned with the erasure of it. For some reason, the washing of it away,
Can I
because they've been affected by white supremacy, in my opinion, in a way that black women have not. Their like psyche has been broken in a way, and
Would you say that black men are
yeah.
trying to preserve black culture, and whereas black women are trying to preserve like black existence, and the difference of those two things, maybe?
Possibly, I just don't know. And you know what? I do upload these lives to my YouTube channel, and I just want people to understand. I once again, these are just my thoughts and my opinions, and every woman on here, they're also saying their thoughts and their opinions as well. Everybody is entitled to an opinion. I'm not saying that black women cannot do what they want to do. I'm definitely not telling black women that they need to stay with black men. I've already said that multiple times, that in order for there to be any change, if there was to ever be any change, black women would have to put the capes down, and black women would have to stop being black men's fallback plan, and them to always know that black women will always be there by their side, no matter what indignities that they have to face. So in order to show black men, they would have to open their horizons in entertaining other men, period. I'm just saying it's something about, the colonizers that I personally am not into. So please don't come in there saying I'm trying to make black women stay with black men, because it's not my intention. I'm not saying that. You have your own desires and goals. You can do what you want. I'm definitely not saying that. I just wanted to say that one more time, because I promise people will listen to this, and they will say the crazy things in the comments. Oh, and in Jolie, you know what? You're absolutely right, and it is because black men believe that biracial children are black, and that's insane. How in the world is a fully black child going to come out of a white womb? That makes no sense at all. I wish that black men would understand that, but I think that they tell themselves lies like that to cope, so that they can cope with their own buck brokenness. That's just my opinion. I think that they tell themselves these lies to cope with their own buck brokenness and their own self-hatred, which is so unfortunate. And a lot of black men believe in that type of delusion. It's just like with Dr. Umar, how he believes that biracial people are black, but then talks about no snow bunnies this and no snow bunnies that and no snow bunnies this, and preserving black people. Well, if biracial people are black, why in the world are you telling black men not to, like it just doesn't make any sense. Like insanity.
Because I was gonna say that black men believe in that Hebrew Israelite relic that they hold the seed. And if you put an apple seed in any type of dirt, an apple tree is going to grow, kind of nonsense. And to me, that's just a justification, which you actually just don't need. If you want a white tea woman, you want a snow bunny, you want whatever you want, then just go date them. But to actually have that in their head that they are black because the father is black, that doesn't make any sense, because at the end of the day, you are physically carrying the genetics of another race. Like, for instance, let's just say if when I did the study on age on Asian people, right? For instance, they were saying that they are partially have Down syndrome in they genetics, because if you look at a full blown, from their country, they look a certain type of way, and they're actually bow legged. This is from a Asian what is he, one of those people that do like the bio studies, like they own genetics and stuff. I forgot what they're called, but when he broke it down, how they are, like, Asian people are basically a certain type of mixture of people. And if you have a child being a black man with a Asian woman, and then they carry a certain type of genetics on that child, then that means that child, that the Asian genetics took over. There is such thing as a dominant genes. So to say that they are not black, because, like, I find that to be very strange, because let's just say he got with an Asian woman, and the child come out looking Asian, but the only thing, she just got, like, he or she just got a little bit of a tan, but not kinky hair, look completely Asian. How can you actually say that person is black? They're not. And black men need to just come out of, like you said, come out of that delusion that the child would be considered just biracial. It is what it is.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. All right, let me go down here to books. If you have something to say, sis. I State just dropped. Sorry, if you're still in here, State. I wasn't ignoring you. I was gonna let you speak next. Hopefully I didn't offend you or anything. But like I said, I didn't drop State. She left, or maybe she had a phone call or something like that. But you can go ahead, books.
I'm sitting here just like absorbing everything that was being said and thinking about like my own thoughts about some of these things, and then also how I put those into action. So I don't necessarily have anything to say. I was when you had mentioned what you mentioned made me think more deeply about, like I said, what are we preserving here? Is it, like I said, black men, or maybe we see them more so, again, not all, but maybe more so, we see black men preserving culture, something that constantly shifts and changes over time. Whereas I think maybe black existence in its whole, in its entirety, is being more preserved by black women. And so when you said what you said earlier, it made me think about that in the context of when black men are dating outside their race, and thinking, and even the idea of black culture is something that, it's like, is it for show? It kind of reminds me of like Patrick Mahomes. He's biracial, but there was an interview. I don't know if y'all saw that interview with his wife, where she was like, they were asking her what is his favorite cheat day meal, and mind you, I don't like this man, but she was like, fried chicken, and the way she said it just irritated me,
Yeah,
and you
we
could,
saw that. Yeah.
yeah, and I was like, what? And you could even see that on his face. And so it's one of those things where I think because he's a biracial child, the essence of his blackness, I think, is more so tied to the cultural, maybe like different parts of music, different sayings, different TV shows. And then he therefore feels like he can pass that on to his continuously lessened by blood, black child. And I think we're seeing more and more of that, where you have a lot of biracial and even just white kids. We're not even the highest consumers of hip hop music. White people are, and that's crazy to think about. And it makes me think of just that, like how people have been so accustomed to tapping into black culture without correction, without check, without, being clocked for it, unfortunately. And I think some people have associated, like, okay, well, because my kid is part black, or because my kid is biracial, because I'm a black man marrying a white woman, I can still, and like how you saw those videos where like, oh, dating a black man, and like the glow up, and their glow up is that now they wear like different sneakers, or they dress different. It's one of those things versus saying, well, continuing the black existence, and why, putting emphasis on why black women tend to maybe stick to dating black men more so. But yeah, just something to think about for myself.
Yeah, I was thinking about what you said about like the men putting down the culture, like passing that down. And I don't even necessarily know if I see that, because when I look at the most largest percentage of biracials that seem to have confusion, or self-hatred, internalized self-hatred issues due to their black side, I normally see those with the black fathers. And I think that they instill their self-hatred into their biracial children, which causes racial confusion. So I feel like not only are they, literally whitewashing their lines out, they're also, psychologically washing their any type of culture that their biracial children could hope to have and possibly pass down, which is why usually the majority of the time when black men have biracial children, they end up dating out. They don't go and date someone black. They don't, that side doesn't resonate with them. And it's because the father all along has been passing, that self-hatred of the black side onto them. But that, in my opinion, I really think the majority of black men, and people can say it's a double standard or not, but I do believe the majority of black men that date out have self-hatred issues. I don't believe the same applies to black women, because most black women do it out of a necessity or a need, or they say, hey, you know what, things are not being successful with the men in my community. Let me try something different and see if I can get a better result. But I believe that most of the time, 95% of the time when black men date out, it's the root of it. The root is self-hatred. So I think that these men are incapable of, raising a biracial child to love their black side, and for them to be, have any foothold in acceptance of their portion of blackness, in my opinion. And I think that the black men may see it more like when they were seeing the NBA, drafts and all of that, and they were seeing all these biracial young men there, because, simply put, because of that, and so I'm not quite for sure. I just think that I just think that, like I said, I don't know why, but I think black men have been harmed by white supremacy in a way. And this isn't just strictly dedicated to Black American people either. This is actually Black men across the diaspora. They have been touched and affected by white supremacy in a way that I really frankly haven't seen anyone be affected by it, even other races of people, not to the depths of self-hatred, putting other races of people on a pedestal, but yet constantly hypocritically complaining about those same people. You can't complain about the white man and then love his daughters and then want to marry them and have children with them and change your whole line to white. If you felt that bad, you wouldn't do that. If they were that bad, that you wouldn't be saying, hey, you know what, white man, the children that you create are so much more superior than mine that I want to marry in there and get into that. So I don't know what has happened to them. Like I said, I say it all the time. I don't know. And of course, it's not every Black man, but I think that it's enough that when a Black man, let's just say y'all know a Black man, right? Or you feel like you see a Black man with a vibe that you feel like you trust what he's saying, and you see Black men that unapologetically seem to really care for Black women strictly. Those things are so unusual that it's a big deal because it's not the normal state of the state of Black men's mentality. And that's the reason why those men are so. But anyway, let me go down here to supervillain. If you have something to say, sis.
Yes, Trick. So, I think a point that you and T made earlier, definitely, I just want to reiterate because that was so important. When you brought up the thing with Dr. Umar talking about, the thing that he says, snow bunnies never, but then also considers biracial people black. That's interesting. I never even thought about that. And that goes to show you the oxymoron right there in a lot of I'm just gonna say black men's talking points and rhetoric. And T, you did mention that that's because a lot of them believe in the what did you say, the Israelites thinking that the seed is you are what your father is, or the apple tree. Yeah, that apple tree.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, that apple tree example you gave would be good. Only like, and it's so annoying. And I'm sorry, yeah, I just got to say this part. They're not very good at reading, not very good at math, and it's obviously showing not very good in science, specifically biology. Um, they're s- they're comparing an apple seed to their sperm, and the seed would actually be the woman's egg in that case, and the watering and the fertilization would be what their sperm is. They're not understanding that. And I try to break it down a lot, but the best way I can do is like when men do their contribution, it's literally ejaculation. When it's women's contribution, there's bloodshed. And that's because we are the carriers of life. We hold the egg. Like, I don't understand why they don't understand that and won't get that, but it's super weird. But I did want to also say it's when it comes to the race issue, it's very complex with black men. A lot of things don't make sense in like with them specifically, especially when you're on TikTok and you hear them with the rhetoric that it's women who what do they say, cultivate culture or keep the culture or promote the culture in communities, and that's why, quote unquote, I don't know if you've heard that, that's why they say black is a baby mama culture is a black thing or whatever, even though all types of people have quote unquote baby mamas in their society, so that's weird. But they never ever stop and realize that the anti-black culture in other communities would mean that the women are promoting those cultures, but they have no problem dating these women who promote the anti-black culture in their communities. This is why I say a lot of the times y'all can listen to what men say, but you need to see what they do. A lot of the times it does not make sense. The math will never math. It will never add up. And I don't know. I just think it's so weird because and when it's black women and it's something negative, they can see how women affect the culture. But when it comes to dating out, they don't see how the women perpetuate the anti-black environment or community. So I don't know. It's complex and I think it's really weird. I yield.
Yeah, I think that
I
was a real
agree.
good point.
It's also the fact that these dudes don't like, they always talking inside of their mouths. Like for instance, I'm like, this is my new energy that I'm gonna keep saying. Not actually new. I was saying it for a minute when we go on the topic of giving birth, whatever, I always usually say to women without them get like, I always hope they don't get emotional when I say this. Embrace that power when men say that it's your choice that you chose to be a single mother. It depends. I understand that depends on the circumstances. That's not always the case that this is what you necessarily chose, but you did choose to give life. You did choose to give birth. And I feel like that is power in that, to embrace that by saying, yes, I chose to give birth. And just like what we can do, we can choose not to give birth. And that would be the extension of the race. Period. If it wasn't for single mothers, because let's look at the math, let's do some real math. If they are saying that 80% of the black household is ran by single mothers because they believe in their head, like, we went out to the club and got knocked up by a one night stand. Like, that's what they believe, right? Anyway, so with that being said, then that means the black people that are here today, it wouldn't be no black people. It wouldn't be no black people if it wasn't for those 80% of those women giving birth to those black children. So my thing is, when we have that discussion about birth and about giving life, that is something that I feel like a lot of women should hold on to, that power. Don't give away that power and let men believe that you giving life, creating a human being, was something to be ashamed about. It is nothing to be ashamed with having that power to create a human life, because this is what I hit men with the okie doke. I say to them, if it wasn't for the mercy of a woman, you would not have a child. You wouldn't have a legacy. Your legacy is on the mercy of a woman. Because let's keep it a buck. Mama's baby, papa's maybe. Men are obsessed with talking about legacy, but unless you have gotten the DNA, fellas, you have no proof that that is even your child. Because I can run out here and go out and get pregnant, and the baby is mine. No one will dispute that this boy belongs to me because of legacy, lineage, all of that. No one will dispute that this boy is not my son because he came out of my body. But I ask a man that if every woman you have gotten pregnant went out and had a smishmortion or took the baby and ran off, you would not have a child. But those women can have a child. You as a man cannot have a child. You have to attach yourself to a woman in order to have a baby. And it's just really, and that is the reality. And I understand, like, we don't like to even mention the part with mama's baby, papa's maybe, but that shows the power of us being on that side. Because as much as men want, like I said, running around talking about their lineage, their legacy, my seed, you wouldn't have no child if it wasn't for the mercy of a woman that gave you a child. That's just the point that I understand I went off tantrum a little bit, but it just reminded me, I'm just saying.
Oh, no, 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 no problem, no problem. I mean, I definitely understand what you're saying, and um, I think that's definitely true. I think women have a far more power than men would like to admit, and I think that the more that they can get women to believe that they are powerless is a power in itself that they hold over women, which is the reason why, like, this is a little bit unrelated, but like when women will say, like, oh, I have no control over how men treat me, or I have no control over being able to find out if a man is bogus or not, or will mistreat me, or red flags or not. I just feel like all of these things take away our power. Like, women are very powerful and we're very intuitive, and we have a lot of things that work in our favor. But oftentimes, we as women are gaslit or told, oh no, that's not that, you don't know what you're talking about, or oh no, I don't know why you feel that way. You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with that. You tripping, even though later on you could be proven right that the way you were feeling was completely correct, or how men try to make it seem as if they have all of this control over, children being born and stuff, just like T was saying, or when that's not the case. It's a lot of things like that I think happen in regards to women. And I wish that more of us would, I guess, acknowledge more of the truths about ourselves, so that that could just help us to be more empowered. And if you are like a mother or something like that, it could also help you to empower your daughters moving forward in life. That way that they would not be taken advantage of and things of that nature. Books, did you have something to say, sis?
No, I think that what she said was really powerful and just kind of like, and even you adding on to it, and the fact that we all as women need to step into our power, and how over time we've been like, I really actually like how you worded it and saying that that's men's like secret power is their ability to make women and especially feel less than or feel like they aren't able, and yeah, and even being in control of like history, being able to alter and change what we know and have access to information wise. So yeah, I think what both y'all said was just really beautiful and important.
All right, thank you, sis. All right, I'm gonna go up here to Special. Hey, how you doing, Kamisha?
Hey, I'm good and you.
Pretty
You know,
good.
I was looking at your background about the Pickmes must be stopped. And I don't know if you guys already talked about it because I kind of came in while the conversation was going on, but like for me, I don't understand the mindset of these women who feel like they have to come and go against women. I don't understand like what they go through in their lives that make them go against women that look like them, just to defend men. I do get it that they're pick-mes. I understand the whole thing, but I like it's like getting in that psyche. It's like what have you gone through to make you do these things? Because like it doesn't matter what I see going on around me when when you really look at the numbers and everything of like what men do, and then you go off of your life experiences, your friends life experiences with men. I just could not see myself coming out and defending men when my eyes see what men do on a day-to-day basis. So for a woman, a black woman especially, to go against other black women just to defend men who we know are trifling, who we know are like just illiterate in most ways, and who we know just don't hold any value. I just don't understand. I'm not saying that, of course, black men don't hold value. I'm talking about most black men that agree with this type of rhetoric. They don't hold value in our community. They don't value anything more than themselves. So I just don't like, my whole thing is just trying to find what's going on with the psyche. I'm not a therapist or anything like that, but I just wish that somebody will, somebody who is licensed in that area could just like explain, what's going on with these women of today. And me being on social media, not just TikTok, but being on Facebook, oh my God, Facebook is
It's bad over
has
there.
the most. Say that again.
I said it's bad over there. I'm not on Facebook, so I don't know.
Yes, Facebook has the most pick me's like you could ever imagine. It's like like I don't know. It's like a whole nother community. I'm like, girl, are you really going against black? Do you really believe this? Like, you really believe this that women are doing these things that men are saying that they're doing? You really believe that? Like, and you have not had the same experiences that us black women have had with black men? Like, it's just wild to me. I don't understand.
So was it all the
I'm really
hoteps
trying to
living?
figure it out.
No, I'm sorry. The comments are kind of making me laugh. They said all the all the hoteps live on Facebook. I didn't know Facebook was bad like that. I know pygmies are out here left and right crazy, and I think it's interesting they're asking about like the psyche of that, because there's people. I'm sure there's people who are just pygmies because they feel like that's how they're gonna come up in life. Like I also feel like there's probably women who were raised that way. They had a mother who raised them to be male centered, or a parent, or parents who raised them to be male centered, and so then that is affected them. And I think you also have people who maybe think it's a protection tactic. because, wasn't that long. I mean, I don't think it was that long ago. The woman didn't even have, you couldn't get a credit card. You couldn't have your own bank access to your own bank. And so I think that there's some women who think that, okay, well, if I align myself with men and male values and prioritize the feelings of what in this male-based society that prioritizes their needs, then I'll be protected. So I think there's a lot of different reasons, but there's obviously just people who feel like the host kind of mentioned earlier, how someone will do something thinking it won't happen to them. Like, oh, well, it's not going to happen to me. It can't happen to me. So I think that plays a part in it too. It's just kind of like the energy of feeling like, well, all because he did this to her, I'm this like ego or pride in the sense. So I think there's a lot of different reasons as to why. And I wish maybe there was like a study out there that really, but I could only imagine how they would find the Pick-Mes and have to tell someone, hey, come, I want you to participate in the study because I think you're a Pick-Me. Like that would be comical to some degree.
Yeah, I would watch that too. If it became like a reality show, I will watch it because I really want to know. Like I went back and I didn't watch it when it was, I don't even know if it's still if the show is still on, but I've been going back and binge watching a lot of different shows that deal in relationships like Married at First Sight. This time around I'm watching what is it, Ready to Love with nephew Tommy or whatever. And I think it was season 7, and it was this dude on there, I can't remember his name, but he decided that he wanted to, like, I guess coin a name from Dubai because that's where he's been living at, been visiting. And so he was wearing all of the clothing that the men in Dubai or the people in Dubai wear, just like took on the culture. And he decided that, okay, now I'm ready for love. And anybody knows, if you're ready for love, then you're not coming to play games. But this guy, he was just playing games, making bad jokes. He was just a Dusty in a Dubai outfit or whatever you want to call it. Well, anyway, so the deeper he got into relationships with some of the other women, they started to see like how bad of a character he had. But this one woman, and all of the guys they weren't really into that woman, but he just so happened to be the only one that was interested in her because of course he a Dusty, so whoever he can get, he gonna get him. And so anyways, this girl, once she realized that all of the guys, didn't like her, she just, I guess, had that connection with him. But it wasn't really like an actual connection. It was just like it was a connection to her pain and what I was seeing. And so the girls were ready to like pretty much vote him off. And so they decided, okay, it's time. Say that again.
And she probably saved him, didn't she? That show cracks me up because
She so that's the thing. She got mad because all of the women were pretty much saying like he a Dusty. They weren't using that actual verbiage, but they were saying that pretty much that he's a Dusty. And she was just like, well, he doesn't act like that with me. He's not like that with me. And then the one girl said, girl, please, pretty much. And she didn't like it. So this girl got ready to fight everybody, the whole, all of the group of women. Like she's literally defending this man to the point where she'll embarrass herself. And she just started crashing out. Like, and then when the girl was like, you really about to, you really jumping up like you gonna hit me. And so one of the other girls, when they were taking her out, one of the other girls looked at her and she like, you could get some of this too, over a man that was gonna cheat on you because he told this woman who he was, and she liked him because of that. She liked him because he admitted that he's a Dusty pretty much.
Hey,
And I don't understand.
what wasn't
Say
that
that
the guy?
again.
I think I might have seen that. Was that the guy that was making the inappropriate X jokes with the other women and turning them off?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, she was a super pick me girl.
Ooh, and I didn't think she was in the beginning, but then that day I was like, what is going on? Like and it just opened my eyes a little bit. And I don't even know like what made me think of that right now, but I think it might be tied to trauma. Most definitely. It's
You know
like
what? It'd be like women like her get on my nerves because those be the women that they done had every red flag in the sun, under the sun, right there in front of their eyes, and then they go proceed and get with that man. And then when he does them the dirtiest of the dirty, then they'll be all online talk about how much they hate men and how all men are trash. It's like, ma'am, you knowingly walked head first into disaster. Dude, you had 50 million people tell you not to do it, and you still did it. And you got to take some accountability on your own for that particular thing. No, like just seeing it right there. Like she was super goofy. Like that man clearly looked like he finna take you up and through there and play in your face big time. The fact that she was trying to attack other women on the behalf of a man that is clearly not worth the skin he's in is wild. Cause yeah, I know exactly who you talk about. And that was bananas, bro. It was bananas. I was flabbergasted at that lady's behavior.
And you
I
you
was
talked about
too.
Married at First Sight, and sorry, I was like you talked about Married at First Sight, and the season that was just on, well, I guess it's still technically on, but they should have ended it. There was a black girl on there, and I was like really rooting for her to find love, but she just kept like just like you said, that was just said she kept going back, and I was like, what is happening? This man has played in her face. He's accused her of things. He's called her aggressive. He's done all these things, and she kept going back, and then finally, when it got to a point where it got too far, and now she has like the energy of, oh, I'm just trying to, I guess, get back in the way. And I'm like, this went way too far. Like you never should have got to this point. This man has been so disrespectful to you from literally the beginning. And it just blew my mind how she kept going back to that man. But I guess there's always one. And in that moment, she had to learn the hard way. I don't know if y'all watched the season American Side, but yeah.
Yes, I've been watching that. I've been watching that show. And you know what? The whole purpose, because it's a social experiment. So they're supposed to try to like stick together all the way up until the end and then get a divorce. So she was just trying to go through the process, but he just wasn't, and he was just trying to literally tear her down. Like that was his whole purpose. Like the moment that he realized that this woman, and you know what, I'm gonna say this too, she saw, like when they were on their honeymoon, she saw it like ahead of time. She was like, she it was the way she would be looking at him, like I believe she knew he was like that, but she was just trying to go through the process. Like they said, they like, at least, even with the two that cheated, they like, at least y'all could have, waited until the end of the process,
But how do you
but
feel
y'all
about that?
couldn't wait.
How do you feel about that cheating thing? Because I feel like, just like someone just commented, like the
Ooh.
therapists were egging these people to stay on the show, knowing damn well that they're not compatible. They're not. She hated David. She hated that man. They should have let her
She
go.
did.
They
Right.
should let her go.
I think I think she should have moved on. I really didn't know how to feel about that situation because, like, she called him. Now she called him out as a Dusty, but he really wasn't a Dusty originally, but he was pushed to it. I really don't know how to say it. Okay, so all I'm saying is that by him living in his mama basement, and then him doing what he did, like, to me, he became a Dusty. Like it was like she saw it ahead of time, and I think it just had a lot to do with her dad. She like, man, like he's exhibiting a lot of factors that my dad had as to why my parents got divorced. So it's like, yeah, even though he probably can afford to live, in a home, and he got two jobs and all of that stuff like that, it revealed a Dusty. Like I think she had her reservations for a reason, and he really, he really
The
embarrassed
minute she
himself
heard
to
that,
me.
she was like, her eyes were like, got so big. She looks traumatized. The minute he sat on that couch with her at the wedding day and said, "Hey, I just want to let you know," she said, "Nope, nope, that's not for me." She said, "I am
Uh-uh.
out. I'm tapped out." I was just like, oh my gosh. And see, my thing is, you live at home. That's fine. I can't speak to everyone's financial situations, their life, what's happened to you, what made you get there, whatever. But it was just like, why keep them on the show? And it's like they felt like they didn't have anything else going on, so they said, let's just drag this couple out. I really felt like there was something
Yeah.
else, like something else that happened, that production knows these things. Like they're not dumb, and on the they know, was they had to have known when they were following them down to the gym. Like David and Madison are going to the gym a lot. Like, I was just
Yeah.
like, this doesn't make no sense. But yeah, I felt like,
Yeah.
dang, that was just messy. It was a little messy, but I feel like they should have ended a lot of the couples, and I felt really bad for MM. But like the host kind of said, she just kept staying in that situation. It was hard to watch.
See, I knew he was gonna be something else, anyways, because he had hips. Like he got hips. Like you can't even. How can you trust a man with hips? I just want to know, because I have not been able to trust a man with hips. I'm sorry. So I don't know. Cause I can't never remember the lady's name, the one who had the restaurant. It in what is it? Is in No, it's in, where is it at? It's not Tennessee. It's in Missouri, St. Louis. That's where she is. She used to sing with it was either Patti LaBelle or she sang with Tina Turner. Well, anyways, her son, he had he had hips like a woman too, and he tried to take over the restaurant. He had his I think it was his nephew unalived, and used the money that he got
Oh,
from
that
his
sweetie
from his
pie, dude.
yeah. Yeah. like like he had hips too. So it's like, how can you trust the dude with hips? Like I don't know. It's always something attached to them. Like I don't know. They got a lot of
Girl,
they got a lot of junk in their trunk.
we saw that everywhere.
You
let me
said what?
go. Let me go up here to Pia. Oh my goodness. Go ahead, Pia.
Yeah. Let me go ahead. Why can black women date outside our race and not get judged, but black men can?
Pia, this is not like a real question per se. This live is just like, that live was like a screenshot I took of like a known pick me who asked that stupid question to set black women up. So you don't have to answer that question if you don't want to, because it wasn't a question I was asking. That's why I kind of put the pick me's must be stopped in the front of it, because it's just like, that's just like pick
Yeah.
me questioning. Yeah.
No, but it's actually good because that is a thing. I have noticed the pick-mes, they're so desperate for BOK men that they're trying to be like, okay, we're going to try to help BOK men go against other BOK women. So they're so desperate because I guess they feel like they can't compete against YT girls or Hispanic girls or whatever. So they're like, okay, we'll help BOK men go against black women, and then they'll choose us. Do you see what I mean? Like I could tell the sickness. You're absolutely correct. I see it all the time. But I also want to answer it though as well, even though it's just like what you described. The reason why it's BOK women or black women date out their race, and it's not a big deal, is because it's not a threat to the black community. When black men date out, they actually are dating out because they want to impress the other community. And the way that they're going about trying to impress other races of women and men is by using racism to attack their own race, putting down their own race, saying dark skin is ugly, black women's hair is disgusting. Basically everyone, let's get together and go against black women and unalive them and unalive their children. And that's when it's a problem. See, BOK women are not doing that when they date out their race.
Sorry.
Facts. Yeah, I like how she broke
Yeah.
that down. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, you guys. I'm gonna go back up, and then I'll go to T, then Books, then Supervillain. You can go ahead, T, if you have something to say to that.
I was basically saying how like how the way she broke it down was actually on point. And remember when I told you with Trigger when we was talking about the other pick me women, like what they how they thrive is basically putting down other black women and throwing black women in particularly under the bus. You know, let's just talk about just black women, just like, you know, because pick me women in all the races do the same thing. But pick me black women love throwing women under the bus to make themselves look like they're standing out, being unique and being different, being exactly the version of black women that black men want black women to be. Like they want them to stick around after cheating. They want them to give them their paycheck. They want them paying the bills. They want them to be a housemaid. They want them to come home after a 13-hour shift and cook and clean and take care of the kids. You know, so with that being said, like pick me's when they're trying to be picked, they're going to say how bad these other women are and how great of a woman I am, or you know, you see the potential in me, you know, and yeah, I just like, you know, this little man right here, he just refusing to go to sleep. He's just, I'ma just hold on. I'm probably gonna drop because he gotta go to bed. He playing too much.
Okay, okay. All right, let me go down here to Books. Go ahead, Books, if you have something to say.
No, I think, she kind of took it back to the pick me's must be stopped. And yeah, they need to be. It's harmful for all of us. It doesn't really benefit anyone. It just makes men's actions feel like, well, because this person allowed it, it's okay. Like there was some video the other day of some girl, she was at the gym and she was there with her sister, and this guy, I don't know if y'all saw it, but he approached her and he would just wouldn't, like, she already said no, move on. He just kept lingering and had his just not pulled up. And like some people saying like, oh, it's not bad to be hit on at the gym. And I was hit, that's where I met my, it's like, okay, fine. But she said no. Like, why are you in these comments defending the fact that this woman said what she said? She stood her ground. She said no. She wasn't rude. Let her, why, first off, she's working out. Why disturb her? Can we just talk over here for a second? Like, no is a full response. And so when I saw some of the comments, they were like, oh, trying to justify it. There's always going to be someone who justifies an action that you might not allow, and then that's where they'll go, and then that's where they're going to feel like everything in just people in general, but specifically when it comes to men. I think there is a lot of men who seek that. They want to feel like they know their choice is not right. They know their actions are not right, but they will seek the person that confirms that action.
Um, I definitely agree with everything that everybody has said because I don't know, I just see it too often that that a lot of black women, because I'm not around a lot of women of other races, but they love to give them the benefit of the doubt, and it's like at what point are we going to open up our eyes and stop giving these men the benefit of doubt? Because, like, don't get me wrong, I've never been a pick me, but I've definitely dealt with dudes, and like after so long of witnessing and just experiencing the things that I've experienced, at some point your eyes have to open and just like see it for what it is. Like your instinct should be right there to just tell you, like, this sound the same, like this feels the same, like this feels like what I've already experienced, so why would I go back there? You know what I'm saying? And it's to just desire, for a pick me to just desire negative energy. It's like there's something psycho within them to just, it doesn't matter what kind of attention you get, you just don't care. You just gonna, if, like, because of the type of men that come into those comments and come into those lives, it's like, why they don't give you the ick? Like, how are they not disgusting? Like, some dudes, when they open up their mouth, I'm just like, ugh, like it just make my skin crawl, you know, like some of the things that they say, I'm just like, ew. Sometimes I have to look at my phone like, what? You know, so I don't understand how you can sit there and watch them say the things that they say and read the things that they say about women, and you just be like, yeah, I'm just gonna ignore that. Yeah, I agree, you're right.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I don't get it.
I tell you, I had seen a post of Janine Just a Girl before on her Facebook page. And you know, some white T man was on there calling like black women monkeys and stuff. And she didn't even respond to it. And I was just like, why would you cool with that? You cool with like white T men calling us monkeys? Like, you think that you're not included in that when he's speaking of black women in that way? Very strange. Let's see here. I'm sorry, y'all. I had got disconnected for a second, but I see the live was still going. Autumn, did you have a chance to speak yet?
No, I haven't. So I have a comment and I have a strategy to propose. So first, the comment. I mean, we all see how ignorant the Pickmes are. We all know the Pickmes don't get picked. On here, they hype them up and make them seem like they're special, but in reality, they're just desperate women. From what I noticed, there's two type of Pickmes. There are the single Pickmes and there's the married Pickmes. The married Pickmes, I don't really know what much we can do about them. They just think they're special because they have a ring, not realizing they're one ring away from being just like everyone else that they claim to despise. But for the rest of the Pickmes, they believe that if they agree and do what these men are saying, it's somehow going to get them what they want in life. So they haven't came to the realization yet. They haven't been pushed off the cliff yet to realize, oh, this is just a whole bunch of BS as to what they're saying. They don't actually believe what they say. They don't actually do what they say. They do the opposite, which brings me to the strategy here. So bear with me, y'all. I know y'all might want to jump down my throat for this. My strategy in this situation: don't fight them. Agree with them. Continue to push them off the cliff. Say what you need to say that you feel is right, but also agree with them. Yeah, you're right, sis. You're right. We're all ignorant. We're all dark and ugly and obese and whatever crazy, tragic nonsense that they're saying. We all know that it's making it all look bad, but they don't care because in their eyes, in their head, they have that one ideal. Oh, if I just believe this way and say what they want me to say, they're going to pick me. So we have to progress that up a little bit quicker and let them come to their own realization like, oh, I've been saying this and doing what they say, but it doesn't make a difference. I'm still getting the same negative results. What does that have to mean? And at that particular point, if they're a thinking person, they're going to change their strategy, they're going to change their way of thinking, or they're going to continue to, go off the edge. But anytime we go up to them and be like, well, they're talking about most black women, you're most black women, they don't seem to understand that or grasp that concept. I think they really don't care because, they believe in their mind someone is going to pick them based upon the nonsense that they're saying that the men don't even believe. But I think as women, if, we can all come to the understanding that, okay, when we hear these women, let's hype them up. Let's push them even further. Me, I like to be sarcastic. I'll be like, yeah, you right, sis. Yeah, I'm definitely fat. I'm definitely 300 pounds. What about you? You 300? Do you have 6 kids and 4 baby daddies? Me too. Hype them up. That's just my proposal. And I land.
All right, Autumn. Okay, so let me go down here. Super villain, did you have a chance to speak yet, or did you want to? All right, she might be away, so I'll go down here to Caramel Mermaid.
Yes.
Hey, sis.
Hey, how y'all doing?
Pretty good.
Okay, I kind of agree with the whole like kind of not give them any pushback, just agree with them. I mean, to me, it'll be an easy agree. It'd be me. I could agree easy because I'm a girl's girl. I'm like, yeah, I agree. Yeah, I weigh a metric ton. I got like I got like 6 kids by 6 different men. You know, every time a man break my heart, I just get up under another guy and start having his babies. Yes, and I make sure that all my child's fathers do not have kids of their own. You know, and then if you keep doing that, it's like they're gonna be like, what? Like it will be like their MK Ultra project mindset would just scramble. So I do agree with that.
Oh man.
Um, it would just scramble like so that I do agree. Um, you know, and it's just funny how like most of these pygmies, like they like these non-black men will talk bad about black women. And it's like in their mind, they're thinking like, oh well, I'm not one of them. But they are saying these black women are monkeys, these black women are this, these black women are that. But you're a black woman. Like when you go to the doctor, you gotta check one female, then check black. So it's like you realize you're one of them as well. And it's like they're so deluded in their mind that they think they are the exception to the rule, which they are a part of the rule. Like they don't care. Like they see you as a black woman, you're automatically that monkey. Point blank period. So and that's one thing I do find very weird. And then it's like some of these pygmies, like no offense, they like super duper homely looking. Like they have no style, nothing. Like they just get by off of blah. And it's like you're blah. Like majority of these men, no, all of these men do not want their woman to be blah. Like nothing. Like most of these men want to be I look good, you look good. We gonna look good together. But if you sitting there looking like Derek Jackson's wife and he's up there like sharp as a tack, he's gonna find that very repulsive. He's gonna think you're repulsive. And I never understood why pygmies just have that mentality. Like I never seen a pygmy that actually dress well.
It's funny because I feel like all the like really bad pick me's I've known in my like real life experience, like witnessing it, have always been attractive women. And attractive is whatever that's, everyone has a different idea what attractive is. But while I can acknowledge someone that's pretty, it doesn't mean you're a good person, right? So it's one of those things where every time I've seen a really bad case of that, it's always been, and most times it's been part of it is them feeling like because I look this way, they're not going to treat me the same way that they treated you because I look like this, right? And I hate that people have to learn lessons the hard way. Like at a young age, one of the things I noticed very soon was the way that you had a lot of people who would create these just bold-faced lies about women who were plus size, women who were considered fat, women who were this, and how, well, he's going to choose me because I don't look like you. I don't weigh as much as you. I don't do this as much as you. But it's kind of like I just don't get that when we know for a fact there's tons of plus size women, tons of fat women who are being loved properly, and it's just like it's crazy that the lies that people will tell and the stories people will spin to put themselves into that space of thinking that they're better than. And again, I hate to see people learn the hard way, but I guess sometimes that's what's necessary.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree with what you said, Books, and I also definitely agree with Caramel Mermaid. However, this is such a great conversation we're having, but I got to go. Something just came up. But this is a lot of new women I don't think I've had an opportunity to speak with before. I think Autumn, Pia, and you, Books. I don't think I've spoken to you ladies before. And I really hope I get a chance to speak with y'all again. Oh, and happy birthday, Caramel Mermaid. Happy birthday, sis. But and T, I always love to hear from T. I always love to hear from Supervillain and Kamisha. So I already know that I've talked to you guys a lot. So I always love y'all. But yeah, I gotta get up out of here. I just want y'all to know, if you're a black woman and you're listening to this, I just want you to know you're awesome, you're amazing, you're special, you're valuable, and don't let anybody tell you otherwise. And I'll definitely revisit this topic if y'all want me to. I'm so sorry I had to cut it short.
I'll come tomorrow.
All
I'll come
right.
tomorrow.
Okay.